Hello beautiful people, it's your favorite encourager here, back with another video. And in today's video, I just want to encourage you through I want to encourage you today with the title of "It is working together for your good." It is working together for your good. This encouragement yesterday actually came into my spirit, and it was like 3 times I thought of the same thing, and it started with a reminder and a testimony. And so I'm going to share that with you, and then I'll go into what I just feel like you need to hear today. And so yesterday on Sunday I got baptized, so today's Tuesday, yay to me. And when I got baptized, I just feel on fire for God again. I just feel so on fire to share his good news with other people and to just testify about his goodness to us. And in that moment, I recounted all the seasons that I've gone through up until this season. And I remember there was a season where I just was like, I can't believe that I'm going through this. Like, why am I going through this? And I look at the people that were used in that season, whether for good or for bad. And I think about that trial. I think about that perseverance that I had to have, and I just account it all to God. I accounted that he gave me everything that I needed to get through that season. And then I look back now and I'm just like, whoa, those things were meant to stop me. Those things were meant to discourage me. Those things were meant to challenge me, challenge my faith, challenge, do I believe what it is that I say I believe? And in this season, you too may be going through a similar situation. You may be facing persecution. You may be facing judgment. You may be facing challenge. But I just want to remind you that what it is that you are facing, the season that you are in, it is not the end all be all. It is just one season that you are being perfected in your faith. You are being perfected for the promise. Is this something that you really believe you deserve? Is this something that you really want to do? And in this season, you may be challenged. And I want to remind you of one of my favorite stories. It's a story about Joseph and his brothers. You can find it in Genesis. I believe it starts at about Genesis. I want to say 40, but I'm not sure. It might be earlier, so like 30, 38. But in the story of Joseph was his father's favorite. He was the favorite child because I believe he was the youngest. He was the last child. And his brothers was jealous of him. In their jealousy, they sold him into slavery. While in slavery, he was sent to prison for someone lying on him about something that he didn't do. And in prison, God still had favor upon him. He still found favor. Later in the story, Joseph has an encounter with his brothers, and I missed a lot, so I would really recommend you read Genesis. The story about Joseph in Genesis, I know for sure started at 40 and down, but in that in Joseph's life, he had an encounter with his brothers. He was one of the greatest people in the land, and he recognized his brothers, but his brothers did not recognize him. And in that encounter, he was filled with rage. He was filled with anger. And a little while later, the Lord dealt with his heart. And the scripture says his brothers were worried, and he revealed that I am Joseph, I am your brother, I'm the one you sold. And then his brothers were very afraid. Like, what is he going to do to us? He has so much power. He can kill us. He can imprison us. But what he said to them was, God sent me before you to preserve you and to prosper the earth, and that lives may be delivered. And that's the first verse that just always stuck with me, is that even while now you are feeling as if this season or this situation is just grieving you so much, God may be preparing you to go ahead of a generation, to go ahead of people, to preserve them and to save them. And then the next scripture that Joseph shares with his brothers, now his dad has passed away, and his brothers are like, oh my goodness, what is he gonna do to us? Like, say something, send a messenger to say, our father said, make sure you take care of us. And Joseph told them again, do not fear. He said, as for you, your thoughts against me were evil thoughts, but God meant it unto good. And it came to pass that this day he has saved many lives. And so no matter what people may be doing to you. Like scripture tells us, there's many verses that God uses it for our good. God is so sovereign that even in the most challenging seasons and situations, that God uses it all for the good of those who love him and are called according to his purpose. No matter if someone is plotting evil against you or evil has happened to you, God is going to use that for your good. The enemy thought he can stop you because he sent jealous people into your life, but what it did was propel you into even a stronger leader, an even stronger person to encourage people in the things of God. And so I am sitting here today as a testament of that. There was situations and relationships and friendships that I was a part of that in hindsight, I just was like, I just love people, so it's okay that they're not maybe treating me right. But it was sometimes the enemy uses closest people to us to hinder us, to silence us, to suffocate us, suffocate our fire, put our fire out for God. And I want to encourage you today that you cannot be stopped. God has a purpose and a plan for your life, to give you a perfect life, to give you a life of expectancy, and you cannot be stopped. You cannot, you will not. God is on your side. If God is on your side, who can be against you? And so my encouragement to you is to remember, you have the Lord with you. Your season, this season is not unto death. It may feel like it. Trust me, I've been there. You may even be confessing over yourself, oh, I'm depressed. Oh, I've already quit. God, I don't have no more to give. And in the scripture tells us that when we are weak, that is when we are strong, because we are no longer relying on our own ability to get through it, but we're relying on God's ability to get through it. This season is not unto death. This season is to perfect you and to perfect your strength in the Lord, your dependency on God. And so I just want to remind you that God is always with you. He's always for you. And if God is for you, who really can be against you? And just remember that all things are working together for the good of you who love God and you are called according to his purpose. So do not lose faith. Do not lose heart. Be of good courage. And remember that God sees you. He loves you and he's forever with you. I love you, and have a great day.